Pocketpair uses examples from Final Fantasy XIV, Tomb Raider, Monster Hunter, and more to defend Palworld against Nintendo's lawsuit. Catching strays. So this is a topic I've been kind of trying to keep up with as much as I possibly can in regards to, Pokemon and the Nintendo company suing Pocketpair and Palworld. Now, I've kind of made it clear that where I stand in this lawsuit and in this, battle between the two, I'm actually on Palworld's side. I'm in their defense because of the fact that, when it comes down to the reasoning behind the lawsuit altogether. So, for anyone that doesn't know that hasn't been able to keep up with all this stuff, Palworld is getting sued because of the fact that Nintendo has decided to use patents as their logic and their reasoning behind them filing the lawsuit. Personally, like I stated before in other videos, I thought the whole reason they were going to be going after Palworld was because of the copyright infringement with the pals themselves, so the creatures that were used. Because when you look at some of the creatures in Power World, there are a lot of them that actually look like Pokemon. So that was always my mindset. That was going to be the reasoning behind them suing them. But no, it turns out that they're actually suing them for pretty much game mechanics that they had patented. Now, this is something that I don't agree with and I don't like that, Nintendo is using as their means to go ahead and go after them because of the fact that I firmly believe that if Nintendo does get away with this and they do file a lawsuit and win because of patents, it's going to end up hurting the gaming world because there's going to be so many other game developers and other games in the future that aren't going to be able to do the same type of thing because of fear that a major corporation like Nintendo will be going after them. So that's where I stand for the most part as far as everything that I've been hearing so far from my understanding of the lawsuit. So just seeing that the direction that they're going in is something that I like I stated, I don't really agree with and I don't like. So seeing what's going to be coming as far as the defense for Power World is something I can personally agree with. So we'll get into it right here with this article. So Palworld developer Pocketpair is defending itself against Nintendo and the Pokemon Company's lawsuit by essentially pointing a finger at other older games and saying, look, they did it first. Now, I don't really agree with this first part right here because I don't really feel like it's them kind of, pointing the finger and be like, hey, they did it first. I mean, it kind of is, but in the sense of like them trying to like throw other companies under the bus or anything like that, I feel like they're just kind of showing like, hey, this isn't something that we did, like we specifically created ourselves. There's been other individuals that have done it first, even before Pokemon itself, which I feel like is a fair argument to make. So that's an oversimplification of the company's defense as posted on GamesFray, a site that's done pretty extensive work looking into legal matters in the games industry and recently broke down Pocketpair's legal arguments straight from the Tokyo District Court. Pocketpair essentially argues that Nintendo's patents are invalid because other games have used largely similar mechanics months and sometimes years before the Pokemon Company and Nintendo claim to have invented them. And the Palworld dev even names heavy hitters to prove it, including its own Craftopia. And yeah, that is one of the things. If it's been years, and you know what I mean, or even months, like it's stated that other companies and other games have done this type of stuff, that is also one of the reasons why I do not like the fact that Nintendo was able to actually put out patents in regards to game mechanics. Because, I'm pretty sure almost at this point, with how long the game industry has been out and everything like that, almost any type of game mechanic you can think of has probably been done in one way or another from another franchise or another game IP or something like that. So the fact that they're allowing patents to be put in for game mechanics in general is something that I don't agree with and I do not like. I've made it very clear and I've made that statement a lot in these videos that I've done in regards to this lawsuit. I don't like the direction that that's been going for the gaming industry. So, defending itself against a patent about capture balls, Pokeballs, to capture slash fight, Pocket Pair points to Rune Factor 5, Titanfall 2, and Pikmin 3 as examples of games where players can release capture monsters or a capture item like a ball in any direction. Meanwhile, Octopath Traveler, Final Fantasy XIV, and a Dark Souls 3 mod show players the chance of a likely capture when trying to tame a beast. Pocketpair also apparently used Far Cry 5 and Tomb Raider as games that prove there can be different types of throwable objects, according to the report. While games such as The Legend of Zelda, Monster Hunter 4, Path of Exile, and Dragon Quest Builders, as well as mods for Minecraft and Fallout 4, were also name dropped. And you see, that's kind of the thing right there that kind of goes to the point that I've been making in regards to the game industry. These are a lot of examples that have shown that the game mechanics that were patented by Nintendo have been used in other games, as well as the fact that, overall, the whole concept of Pokemon being able to capture these creatures, make them battle against each other and fight, and kind of use them to your will, has always been something that people have mentioned was a game mechanic, as well as something that has been done far before Pokemon. There's games that I've had when I've done some of these videos that people have commented on and have mentioned that we're like, this is a game that was out before Pokemon that does the same exact kind of concept. So the fact that they're kind of having it so that they kind of make it seem like they're the ones that created this type of stuff, it's not really working in their favor. And it kind of leaves the question as well that if things don't go well for Pokemon, will they be able to get sued? From other companies because of the fact that they kind of took the ideas that were already in place before their own game. So more than likely, no one would probably even try to do that just because Nintendo as well as Pokemon are such big corporations. They're such a big company that you probably wouldn't want to go up against them just because of the fact that it would probably take so long for, litigation and everything like that. But it leaves the question that if they wanted to, could people go after them because of that? As well as the fact that, yes, they had these patents, but could they make the argument we have examples of us using these mechanics way before Pokemon or Nintendo had patented them, so we're going to be able to go after them? So they just got to be careful in the sense that what they're kind of going after, people can come back to them. But at the same time, it is one of those things, like I've stated, where it's not going to be good for the gaming industry as a whole. You know what I mean? It's going to hurt the gaming industry more so than help it, which is really sad, especially coming from a major corporation like Nintendo that's been so heavily in the gaming industry. You think that they'd be trying to help the gaming industry out more so than trying to harm it at the end of the day. So that's just really unfortunate. So, for those not in the know, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company launched a lawsuit in Japan against the survival monster tamer to seek an injunction against the defendants and compensation for damages. While the suit itself alleges that Palworld infringes upon multiple patents that was filed in September of 2024 and will just need to wait until we see resolution one way or the other. So, yeah, man, this is something that is really weird, and I'm just kind of interested to see what direction this is gonna go as far as Japan deciding, who they're gonna side with, because of the fact that with whatever happens in this lawsuit with Japan, it really leaves the question as to if this is gonna be coming to the States. I did another video a few weeks back where it was kind of mentioned that it seemed like Nintendo was trying to make a lawsuit happen here in the States and kind of see if they can make that a thing. But there hasn't been really any further information at this point. I'm not sure if Nintendo is waiting to see what happens with this lawsuit itself, or if it looks like they're going to be a little bit in the like if things are going to be more on their side before they start going with it, or if they're just going to decide while they're dealing with this lawsuit in Japan to go ahead and still try to go through with it in the States. So who knows at this point? We just got to wait and see. It's really unfortunate that this is even the case, that this is kind of being a thing. But at the same time, it's Nintendo being Nintendo. If for those of you that know, you know what I mean. So some people look at Nintendo as like this great company that can do no wrong. Other people see Nintendo as like this, really bad company that's really screwed over gamers as well as other game corporations. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things. I'm kind of in the middle. You know what I mean? I love Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. It was one of the corporations the first games I used to play were from Nintendo. But you got to call them out when they do some shady practices and some stuff that people may not like. So we'll see. We'll just have to see what happens with this lawsuit and see what direction it goes in. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys agree with what Nintendo is doing, or do you guys side with Palworld and think that they're in the right, considering that there are so many other games out there that have been able to kind of use these mechanics that they're getting sued over to begin with? So if you guys can let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.